Thank you for joining us tonight. Anti-human trafficking organizations are shining a light on the dangers children and women face every single day. A big gathering of decision makers today, and 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra live at the Arizona State Capitol with what happened out there. Gabby?
Well, Troy, tonight, state senators J.D. Mesnard and Warren Peterson announced they'd be activating a statewide task force. In part, they'd be looking at Arizona's laws against human trafficking and see how they help or hurt both victims and the process of prosecuting offenders. An interpretive dance tells the story of how Sherry Lopez became a victim and survivor of human trafficking.
At the age of 15, I was just an innocent child going about my life. Grew up in a two-parent home, middle of three girls, but I was groomed by my high school boyfriend's father and then trafficked for 7 years.
Now she fights for survivor rights, both at the state and federal levels.
I think our law enforcement does a great job. What happens is when they get in front of a judge, things kind of fall apart.
At the 7th annual Night of Hope, anti-human trafficking advocates called on unity between policymakers, law enforcement, and families to better prevent and prosecute.
It's rough, it's hard, it's evil, but it takes an army to actually defeat this.
For the policymakers, advocates want to see laws that support victims.
Victims are real victims, so we got to make sure there's not double jeopardy.
While also giving law enforcement agencies the best tools to investigate. Scottsdale police recently announced more than 200 arrests in a proactive human trafficking operation last month. No children were directly involved.
Whenever we do an operation, we're overwhelmed with the number of people we have to investigate. And so resources would be a big thing.
For families, advocates say education about human trafficking and sex crime awareness starts at home.
The thing about predators pursuing kids, they always have gone to where kids are at, right? Sometimes playgrounds, sometimes schools, sometimes churches. Well, now where are kids? They're on the internet.
And Lopez wants parents to know no child is immune to these dangers.
Any child can be groomed. Any child can be trafficked.
And advocates encourage parents to sit down with their kids and have conversations about the dangers of talking to strangers in both public, in person, and online. And we have resources for how to have those conversations on 12news.com. Live at the Arizona State Capitol, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
And Gabby, so many forms of human trafficking. I mean, we talk about people being brought across the border for these things. And then the woman in your story there, it was the father of one of her friends.
That's right. We heard about several ways that this can happen tonight, and they're trying to focus on each one of those things, but they say the one that's targeting kids the most right now is the tablets, the social media, being online. So they're really hoping that parents focus in and monitor their kids on their phones and on social media and keep in contact with them again about the dangers of talking to strangers.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Gabby, thank you for the story tonight.